If you're neurodivergent or suspect that you are, I've got the perfect book for you. Unmasked, The Ultimate Guide to ADHD, Autism and Neurodivergence by Ellie Middleton. Welcome to Bookmarks, where we find and review some of the best books about life. This isn't just for those with a diagnosis, but also for the friends and fam of neurodivergent folks. And stick around for more recommendations if you like the sound of this book. What is the most valid, self-diagnosis or medical diagnosis? Well, the very start of this chapter starts with the cold, hard truth that the world is far from ideal, and many people, particularly women, people marginalised for their gender, people from low-income backgrounds, and people of colour do not have access to medical diagnostic assessments. Ellie speaks about the rise of self-diagnosis with autism and ADHD due to the huge pool of information we now have available at our fingertips on the internet, and how self-diagnosis is valid because of long waiting times in the NHS, and refusals for assessments due to not fitting into the diagnostic criteria, which were designed for young, white, cisgender males, leaving those who don't fit the diagnostic stereotype of autism, like being older, black, trans or extroverted, to be left behind. But there is a well thought out, nuanced understanding in her writing in this topic. She goes into the risks of medical diagnosis, such as people who are both autistic and trans, gender non-conforming or non-binary may be denied access to gender-affirming healthcare. The big takeaway from this chapter is that diagnosed or self-diagnosed, your experiences are valid. If this book sounds like a bit of you, then you'll probably really enjoy You're Wrong About ADHD podcast, hosted by Katie, who thinks that her ADHD is a superpower, and Sam, who thinks it's a bit of a pain. They explore how they each manage their ADHD, as well as busting misconceptions with industry experts. Chapter 9 dives us right into the workplace, and it kicks us off with some pretty heavy statistics. 22% of autistic people are in paid employment, which is wild. But as we learn in this chapter, not surprising due to how workplaces aren't made for neurodivergent people. This has to be probably one of the most helpful sections of the book. It's split up into 4 sections. We're not broken, the system is. How the workplace is the one that's broken, not us. Examples of accommodations you can ask for. Accessing accommodations. Things that workplaces could and should be doing to be more inclusive. As someone who's late diagnosed, I've personally found it so hard to navigate what accommodations I can or should ask for, so this is a really handy resource to have. Ellie perfectly explains how a lot of people that need, deserve, and will benefit from accommodations don't actually know that they need them, with it being estimated that there's 1.8 million adults in the UK with ADHD, but only 8% are formally diagnosed, which is a shocking statistic. In fact, I think it should be mandatory for every business to read this to make work more disability friendly in general. Now, if this book is making you want to learn more about autism, then Unmasking Autism, The Power of Embracing Our Hidden Neurodiversity by Dr. Devon Price is right up your alley. This book focuses on autistics who've masked their whole lives and don't fit into the stereotypical mold of autism. He pulls from his own life experiences and also sprinkles in academic research and practical exercises tailored to the autistic experience. So, should you bookmark Unmasked? If you felt that feeling that you're somehow different, I would give this book a read. Even if you're wanting to learn more about neurodivergence for a loved one, this book is easy to read, understand, and is packed full of information. I can guarantee you'll come away from reading this with a new view of societal systems and myths about disabilities. What book should we do next? Make sure to join us for the next episode of Bookmarked.